So location, always very important. Why is this location suitable? Well, you're in an area of Chester that's just slightly outside the city walls. 10 minutes walk into Chester itself, close to the racecourse, close to the public transport links, but yet you have this feeling of it being very quiet. You've got the views over to the Welsh Hills over there, haven't you? So you can have a mixture of serenity and a little bit of whatever you want.
Well, and we find that in not just Chester, but other locations as well, haven't we? Where certainly from the corporate let bookings point of view, like you say, they prefer it a little bit outside of the city centre. If they're going to live here for a number of months, they probably don't want the hustle and bustle of city centre life without being too far away. And as Paul says, you know, you're 10-minute walk into the centre, 10 minutes to the famous, you know, Chester racecourse.
The River Dees, then the canals just down there, Telford's warehouse if you want to go. You've got a very large industrial estate there, or retail park should I say, rather than industrial estate, so you've got everything you need in terms of shopping, any sort of retail centre.
And on top of that, you've got the university as well, which is just over a 5-minute walk, I'd say, something like that from here. So some of you may remember the Hastings development that we had, Havelock, which was hugely successful, and the model behind that, where you could sort of have the student intake and the short-term let side. This has kind of got that as well. It's got that string to its bow.
I mean, obviously from our point of view, and we'll get onto the short-term let side, it's where we're sort of focusing our aim, because we believe that's where it'll do its best, you know, in terms of returns for you guys. But it doesn't mean that, I mean, it's currently tenanted now. It doesn't mean that you can't have a standard tenant in there. In fact, I think it's had an impeccable occupancy history through its time because of its location.
And that's a big thing for us. We want to keep all rental options open. So, you know, we think it's perfectly suited for short-term lets. It's something that we've done for so long, and it will do well on that front. But as Paul mentions, it will also work well on longer-term rentals. You know, whether that's through us, you know, managing it, or through someone else, there's plenty of options there. You know, self-occupancy as well. People might want to, you know, live in these apartments that are nice. So there's a real variety of rental options with it, which makes it such a good investment opportunity.
Well, I mean, from a tourism perspective, there's a reason, even though Chester's a relatively small city, it's one of the most popular locations within the UK. And that is why it works so well on the short-term lets. Not only do you have that tourism side, but like I say, we'll go into, we have a massive corporate letting side with lots of large companies that use us regularly. We are probably the #1 supplier of short-term lets in Chester.